afternoon. You're watching the second edition of Market Fatafat right here on ET now. I'm Obina Kapasi. The markets, meantime, what is it up to? Remember, we started off with some gains. Subsequently, we sold off those gains and we still are struggling to hold on to 11,600. The Sensex is as well flattish, and the broader markets have, in fact, delivered a complete U-turn in the red for the mid-cap index. But the show is all about the individual movers and shakers that we're going to flag off with the help of our team of experts joining in. We have with us Soumya Sharma, ET Now's research analyst, and on the technicals we have with us Ashish Kyal of Wave Strategy Advisors, as well as Manav Chopra of Indiabulls Ventures. Good afternoon to all of you. Thanks for joining in. Soumya, let's start off first with you, the big news maker of last evening and today, ICICI Bank. What's the street verdict?
Well, as far as the numbers for ICICI Bank is concerned, they were mixed set with profits missing the street estimates. The slippages rose compared to the last quarter. Talking about Morgan Stanley, they said that they're maintaining overweight stance with the target price of 530. They said that aggressive write-offs will reduce stock of impaired loans. They believe that from here on the loan growth would be strong and NIMs would continue to trend upwards. They see the valuations as attractive and hence are maintaining overweight stance with a target price of 530.
Alright, that's ICICI Bank for you, and that's stock number one. Moving on to the next sector, should I say, and that's the OMC pack that has been seeing a lot of volatility of late because crude prices have been echoing that sentiment as well. While one day they were below $70 per barrel, today once again they've rebounded very smartly to beyond $71 per barrel, and that is something that has caused OMCs as well to fall in trade. Perhaps a bout of profit booking kicking in. HPCL, BPCL are big losers. BPCL in fact was cracking as much as 4% on an intraday basis before recovering just a tad bit. HPCL as well is down 3.7%. Another pack that's cracking is the IB pack. The Indiabulls group stocks have been falling yesterday, today as well. They've been in the red. Indiabulls Housing did attempt a recovery, but again it's sold in. Ashish, your view here?
Indiabulls looks negative because the stock has corrected sharply from 900 and the momentum is strong on the downside. There is no positive respite so far, and I think it's best to be on the short side over here, keeping a stop loss of 706 for the target of 650.
Alright, so that's the strategy on Indiabulls Housing. Manav, ahead of the numbers for ASIANPAINT, today we are seeing some gains come by. The numbers are of course tomorrow. Perhaps it's got to do with the movement in crude, but what's your view here?
The prices have reached its important support on the daily basis as it's trading below its 100-day moving average, and going forward I think the short-term trend has turned bearish. We expect the lower targets of 1320 to be achieved. On the upside, 1410 and 1420 would act as a stiff resistance, and the recent decline are also accompanied by good amount of volume, so for the near term one should maintain a bearish stance.
Alright, so that's the recommendation in ASIANPAINT, which is by the way declining 2%. Soumya, Bharti Airtel did deliver a good set of numbers, but the stock is down.
Well, yes, in fact, the numbers are good. The India business revenue grew by was at a 3-year high. Growth was at a 3-year high. Talking about the brokerages, we have pretty much mixed reviews when it comes to Airtel. Credit Suisse is maintaining a neutral stance with a target price of 293 per share, whereas Deutsche Bank is maintaining a buy stance with a target price of 390 per share. Talking particularly what Credit Suisse says, they say that India Mobile witness will improve, but details are yet awaited, and competition intensity remains high when it comes to telecom sector. So that's pretty much, I think, is what's keeping the stock down by over 1.8%.
Alright, that's Bharti Airtel for you, down 1.8%. Moving on to another stock that's declining, it's Work Hard. Quarter after quarter the company has delivered a loss. This time there's no exception. Revenues as well have tanked 50%. The loss figure, however, this time around has actually narrowed to 33.5 crores from the triple-digit loss figure that it was delivering in the corresponding quarter. Do remember that most of the key plants for Work Hard are under import alert, and hence the key revenues generator for Work Hard is now only the hospitals business, and that's perhaps responsible for the fall in the revenue as well. So Work Hard is in focus, the stock down 1.8%. Ashish, today we are seeing a bounce in some of these sporadic FMCG names. HUL is one after falling yesterday. Today it's among the top nifty gainers. What would you recommend here?
HUL had a very important support at 1650. It stopped exactly at that level from the double bottom and also a positive divergence on the indicator. So there is a possibility we might start seeing the positive traction here on HUL. So long positions can be created keeping 1650 as a stop loss. and we can expect it to move towards 1790 eventually.
Okay, HUL in fact is just about near the day's high. Manav, HCLTECH for the most part of the last month was in the green. It managed to deliver good gains, but today is just a bit of red seen on the screen. What's your recommendation?
See, the overall prices are in a good strong uptrend. We are seeing a short-term corrective decline, and the important support for HCL Technologies is close to the levels of 1100, which also coincides with the short-term moving averages. I sense this correction to be treated as a corrective decline, and one should look to buy near the support zone. Since the overall trend is still bullish, and the momentum oscillators are still in the buy mode, we expect in the near term that the prices would again retest the levels of 1200 and possibly make a new high in making. So overall, maintain a buy and dips approach.
All right, HCLTech is down by about 1.5%, but of course the big mover for today is Marico. Soumya, what were the numbers like?
Well, as far as numbers are concerned, they were pretty much in line with our expectations. In fact, brokerages remain upbeat. Talking about Morgan Stanley, they have upgraded Marico to overweight from equal weight with a target price of 410 per share. Well, they forecast 17% FY19 to 21 earnings of growth CAGR. And as far as CLS is concerned, even they are maintaining a buy with the target price of 465 per share. Even though for them EBITDA was below, the PAT was pretty much ahead their estimates, and they believe that healthy growth was driven by Saffola, which was a key positive for the company. Stock gaining smartly by over 7% today.
All right, so that's of course about Marico needs 7% uptick after that 8% volume growth number. Here's important news coming in from PSU Bank IOB as well. The company has announced that in line with its motive of essentially selling off its non-core assets, it has identified 32 properties, including prime properties in Singapore and Hong Kong, total value of which is 900 crore rupees for sale. It has already initiated the sale process for 26 properties, wherein it's expected to garner around 770 crore rupees. So this entire monetization plan is something that's keeping the stock price as well very active in trade. In fact, the entire PSU banking space as well is doing pretty good today in trade. IOB among them, more than 2% of gains. She's talking about the banking space. You know, IndusInd Bank for the last couple of sessions has been drifting lower. Today as well, it's down 0.5%. What would you recommend here?
Actually, IndusInd Bank has started correcting from 1750 to 1800 levels and is now floating around the levels of 1500. I think there is some consolidation which is possible, but the short-term outlook will remain negative. And we can expect it to move towards the level of 1444 on the downside, and one can maintain a stop loss of 1566 on the upside.
Alright, so that's IndusInd 0.5% higher, a bit of a bounce seen from the day's low. Manav, we're expecting the numbers for Vedanta, but today, after that bounce seen in metal stocks, just ahead of the numbers, Vedanta is declining.
See, the prices have recently declined from its recent peak of 195, and on the weekly charts and on the daily charts the prices have entered into the oversold zone. I don't see much of a decline from the current levels, as there are a series of support around the levels of 160, 162 on the lower side. There is a high probability that the prices would bounce from the lower levels and could see a short-term rally towards the 175 on the upside. One can maintain a trading stop loss below 160 on the immediate basis.
Alright, that's Vedanta 0.7% lower at 165 rupees. It's anyway drifting towards its 52-week low. Soumya, what's the news update on CG Power?
Well, for CG Power, the stock is falling today since Hungarian asset sale fails. The company has terminated the deal to sell their assets in Hungary as certain conditions are unmet. In fact, they're saying that they're exploring further options from here on. In fact, the stock today has lost close to about 3.4% in trade.
Alright, here's another stock that is once again losing, but news is important. Remember, they are in the process, that's McLeod Russell, pardon me, they are in the process of essentially selling off their tea estates to garner money on the group level to pay off the debt. It has completed the sale of 45% stake in Rwandan Arm. We did see some green on the screen in the earlier part of the trading session, but that has been completely sold into. In fact, as we speak, we are seeing the stock drift to the day's low, more than 5.5% of gains coming in over there. Well, on the flip side, Soumya, great gain seen in Sterlite Tech.
Well, yes, promoters have reached in principle agreement with lenders to remove the pledge by July 2019. In fact, note that as of March quarter, promoter holding stood at 53.8%, out of which approximately 96.7% was pledged. So that's some good news coming in for the stock, gaining by over 3%.
Alright, so there you have it, HCLTECH for you, gaining 2.8%. We'll do one thing, we'll just take a very short breather right here on the show. Do come right back, the countdown of the big movers and shakers will continue. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat. I think it's important to flag off another big buzzer in trade, that's Tata Motors, which continues to decline. The GLR April UK sales are out. It's come in at 8,295 units versus 7,441 units. At this point of time, it's from the terminal. But yeah, April UK sales have shown a slight increase. But look at the way the stock has actually tanked post that number. It's a sharp drop witnessed, and now we are sub the 200 rupee mark. So whatever gains we've seen in the last 1 month, where Tata Motors actually managed to climb beyond 200 and 240 rupees, have been completely obliterated, and we are at 196 rupees for Tata Motors yet again. The disappointing sales from the auto space is something that we have been flagging off for the last couple of months. Tata Motors, for one, has been hit badly, especially on account of the slowdown in China. Let's move on to stock number 17 then, and that is NMDC. Decent gain seen over there amidst the entire rebound in the metals basket. This after a Brazilian court has ordered to halt the Brucutu mine iron ore operations. Chinese iron ore prices have surged more than 3.5% on the back of that news. In fact, Chinese iron ore prices are perched at $96 per ton. NMDC on the back of that gaining smartly 1.2% higher, though it has ebbed off from the day's high. VIP Industries has as well come out with its numbers. You have the profit figure at 25 crores. It's a dip from the corresponding quarter. The top line as well does not look all that great. I think that should as well come up for you on a bit. Yeah, 434 crore rupees. So, okay, there is growth, but it's single-digit growth as has been witnessed, by most in the FMCG pack. Remember, VIP, of course, one of its key brands is the VIP brand itself. A majority of the revenue comes from there. It's a mid-market segment, and I think if the commentary from the managements that we have seen in FMCG space is anything to go by, there's liquidity stress, there's agri stress, and that is something that would have a direct impact on VIP. Look at the margins. The margin performance is particularly disappointing. It's a 500 basis points drop to 9.1%. Single-digit margins being delivered by VIP Industries. I'm sure this is coming in after many, many quarters. So I think this as well is a stock worth flagging off in Market Fatafat. Okay, continuing with the countdown then, Ashish, let's talk about your sell recommendation on Biocon. What is the rationale for that?
The Biocon had been moving in a very big range for quite some time, and recently it broke below the lower trend line and the neckline, I would say. And that's why the overall trend looks to be reversing from the up move to the down move, and any rally should be short-lived. One can short Biocon at CMP, keeping a stop loss of 573 on the upside for the target of 528.
Alright, that's Biocon. In fact, it's, by the way, near the day's high. Quite a rise witnessed in the last couple of minutes. Samya, what are you witnessing in Anava's financiers?
Well, this is one stock that's gaining smartly. In fact, today it's up by over 6%. Trading at an all-time high, supported with robust traded volumes. It's been gaining for the 5th straight session, and actually has clocked in about 21 to 22% of growth in the last 5 days. In fact, we at 18 Hour exclusively spoke to Avas financiers, and they said that Avas is always targeting sustainable growth for the company, and the ALM position is one of the strongest as far as Avas is concerned compared to all its peers and the industry. Their focus on asset quality remains a top priority, and that's what they said when they spoke to 18 Hour. The stock gaining by over 5.7%.
Oh yeah, it's at an all-time high, like Samya flagged off. Manav, Balrampur, Chini, these sugar stocks we generally move in tandem along with the Praj, etc. They gained for the most part of last month. Today, however, there's a sharp drop witnessed in some of them. What's your view here?
So the prices have already seen a very good rally, and there are some exhaustion patterns at the current levels which are hinting for some profit booking in the near term. The momentum indicators are also declining from its overbought zone post divergence. So I sense in the near term there could be a mean reversion whereby the prices would be testing its weekly support levels and important moving averages. So on the immediate basis, one can expect short-term decline towards the recent support of 135, and on the upside, the 150, 152 are the resistance where some selling pressure is expected in the near term.
Alright, moving on to the next stock then, stock number 21, GE Shipping. It's a result reaction witnessed over there as well. Mixed bag of numbers. Revenue has gone up 22%, but I think the problem has come in the margin front, which has compressed almost 1,000 basis points to 35.1%. The Q4 loss, however, has narrowed, so it's certain below the line items that have actually aided that bottom line figure to narrow from 210 crore rupees to 21.45 crore rupees. That's a loss. Net, the stock is higher by just 0.2%. Ashish, let's talk about HDFC Bank. This one, in fact, has some news with respect to a stock split that is expected come the board meet on 22nd May. But, it has been at a record high now.
Absolutely. See, HDFC Bank had been a strong outperformer within the banking space, and we can clearly see from the stock prices and the way it has performed it exceptionally well. Given that Bank Nifty is still near the lows of the past 2 or 3 weeks, but HDFC Bank has continued to outperform. So one can create long positions here, keeping the stop loss of 2266 on the downside for the target of 2455.
Okay, that's HDFC Bank for you. Soumya, what's the news on Quick Heal?
Well, buyback updates coming in from Quick Heal. The company will be buying back close to about 63 lakh shares at a price of 275 per share. In fact, the total buyback amount would not be exceeding 175 crore rupees. But the stock today is losing by over 4%.
Alright, moving on, man of the entire cement space today is in the green. Among them, Orient Cement is buzzing particularly. Your view?
The prices have recently observed a very good rally from its recent lows, and the most important thing is the rally has accompanied by above average volumes. After a long time, the momentum oscillators have also entered into a positive zone. We expect this rally to continue on the upside as the prices have also trading above its long-term averages. On the immediate basis, 125 could be the immediate target one can look out for, and on the lower side, 102 is the important stop loss.
Okay, that's Orient Cement, 3.8% higher. Naveen Fluorine as well delivered its fourth quarter numbers. This one too not that great a set, because while revenue growth was okay, double-digit growth, 17% at 244 crore rupees. I think what disappointed was the margin performance, and that trickled down to the bottom line as well, which came in lower 8% at 35.9 crore rupees. The stock has, however, rebounded from the day's low, during which time it was losing as much as 4%. Ashish, let's talk about Ashoka Buildcon. This is one stock that, along with Adil Buildcon as well, has been showing some gains today in trade. Your view?
I think Ashoka Buildcon overall outlook will remain negative. Any pullback is going to be short-lived and temporary, and the stock can move lower towards the level of 114.20. So one can short at CMP, keeping the stop loss of 123.80, expecting a target of 114.20.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Ashoka Buildcon at 120 rupees. He has a buy and target at 114 rupees. Okay, we will... Alright, so that's stock number 25. I think we can go across now to talk about Akshaya Tritiya. Over the past decade, if you see, the returns in gold have been fairly muted. So even though there will be a festive and seasonal demand for gold jewelry, the IRR has been very subdued. So on this occasion of Akshaya Tritiya, let's analyze what the returns have been on gold prices. Jayesh Khilani is here for that. Jayesh. Okay, so the question really is whether gold is essentially a long-term bet. Is it an investment or a hedge? Remember that if you had invested 10,000 rupees on Akshaya Tritiya ever since 2009, what would it have delivered right now? Similarly, if you had invested in a gold ETF versus an Nifty ETF, so 10,000 rupees invested every year since 2009 would have generated just 1.12 lakh rupees in a gold ETF, but much more in a Nifty ETF, which clearly shows that gold has not been the best investment. The IRR as well for gold has just been 0.4%. Nifty has been 8.9%. Okay, I think, all right. Okay, on that note, Manav as well as Ashish, thank you for joining in and helping our viewers out, with individual stocks. We'll wrap it up. Thanks, Soumya, to you as well. Coming up next is Closing Trades.